right, well, good afternoon and welcome to our 5th grade STAAR testing meeting for 2021. Thank you for being here.
Buenas tardes, bienvenidos por estar aquí el día de hoy. Bienvenidos a nuestra primera junta donde se hablará sobre el examen del STAAR.
All right, so this is our agenda for this afternoon's meeting. We will have a welcome and introductions. We will answer questions about STAAR and provide important testing dates. We will talk about student success. Then we will discuss school support plus tips and help that we will ask for you from home. We will have an opportunity to discuss how you can check in on your child's progress. We'll give some tips for all the different subject areas, reading, math, and science, and then discuss a motivational activity with you.
Ok, aquí como pueden ver está la agenda del día de hoy. Empezamos ya con la bienvenida y las introducciones. También se cubrirá el día de hoy qué es el examen STAAR, fechas importantes sobre los exámenes, el éxito del estudiante, cómo poder apoyar a su hijo y a la escuela, y le daremos consejos de cómo puede ayudar en casa. También hablaremos del progreso y cómo está progresando su estudiante. También cubriremos consejos específicos de acuerdo a la área de contenido, ya sea matemáticas, lectura, y también compartiremos con ustedes una actividad para poder motivar al estudiante.
All right, so we want to say thank you so much for joining us. Your support is very important for your child's success, so it's wonderful that you're here, or perhaps you're watching the recording. We thank you. And then I wanted to introduce some of the other important staff members that we have joining us. So we have all of the teachers from 5th grade. We have Miss Austin, we have Miss Englehart, and we have Miss Neff. And then we have leadership team members. We have Miss Almaguer, and thank you to Miss Almaguer for translating for me. We have Mr. Brown, our special ed chair. We have Miss Corprew, our teacher specialist. And we have Miss Martinez, our school counselor. So thank you everyone for your support and welcome.
Ok, bienvenidos de nuevo. Les queremos dar las gracias por estar aquí el día de hoy. Su apoyo es sumamente importante para el éxito del estudiante. Queremos también dar la bienvenida o introducir a nuestras maestras de 5º grado, a la señorita Austin, maestra de matemáticas, Miss Englehart, a la maestra de ciencias y estudios sociales, a Miss Neff, la maestra de lectura y escritura. También le queremos dar la bienvenida a los miembros del equipo de liderazgo, nuestra teacher specialist, Miss Corporu, nuestro líder de educación especial, Mr. Brown, nuestra consejera, la señorita Martínez.
All right, so what is STAAR? STAAR is the State of Texas Assessment of Academic Readiness, and we have been taking the STAAR test since the 2011-12 school year. This is a test that all students in Texas take. It was designed by the Texas Education Agency, or as we often hear them referred to, TEA. And we know that we have a curriculum in the state of Texas, which we refer to as the TEKS. And so the STAAR is the assessment of those TEKS. Is designed to measure the extent to which students have learned those TEKS, in other words, the curriculum. And our students in grades 3 through 8 take STAAR.
Ok, ¿qué es STAAR? Ok, pues el examen STAAR es un examen estatal. Ok, este examen ha sido implementado año con año. Este examen es una prueba de todo lo que se le ha enseñado al estudiante. Entonces, el examen mide cuáles de esos requerimientos que el Estado ha requerido que ellos, o sea, que los maestros enseñen cuáles los estudiantes han aprendido.
All right, these are the important STAAR testing dates. So we have all grade levels, 3rd through 5th here, in case you have students in other grade levels. But the most important dates for 5th grade, we will be testing for STAAR. May 11th will be the math test, May 12th for reading, and May 13th for science. The assessments will be in person, so we will be asking students who are virtual to come to campus for their tests. And this year, please note that there is only one opportunity for our 5th graders. In previous years, our 5th graders have had different opportunities, actually up to 3 chances to pass the test. But given COVID and other rationale, the students will only have one chance to pass the test. So that will be May 11th, May 12th, and May 13th.
Ok, como podemos ver aquí vemos las fechas de acuerdo al grado y la materia. Los estudiantes de 3er grado tomarán matemáticas mayo 11 y el de lectura mayo 12. Grado 4 estará tomando matemáticas el 11 y lectura el 12 y el examen de escritura abril 6. 5º grado estará tomando matemáticas el día 11 de mayo y el día 12 de mayo estarán tomando lectura. Y el día 13 de mayo, ciencias, ¿ok? El examen se tomará en persona. Usualmente los niños de 5º grado les dan la oportunidad de tomar este examen 3 veces, pero debido a las circunstancias por las cuales estamos pasando, este año solo se le dará una oportunidad para pasar este examen. Es uno de los cambios este año.
All right, and then one of the very important assessments that we have in our district is the DLA assessment or district level assessment. And that's more or less kind of like a mid-year checkpoint and a very important, almost like a practice STAAR for what the students have learned so far this year. So it is a very serious and important test. So we wanted to make you aware that those dates are coming up this month. And so on January 18th, it's a Monday, we have our MLK holiday. We don't have school. But then the very next day, January 19th, the teachers will be doing a very comprehensive and important review for the test. And then the test will start on that Wednesday, January 20th for math. And then on the 21st, students will take reading. And then on the 22nd, the students will take science. And so in order for our students to be prepared for the STAAR test, we want to have all of our students come in person as much as possible for those assessments too, so that we can get an accurate reflection of how students are doing. We know that our students, for the most part, tend to do better when they're testing in a classroom environment. And so we do want to bring our students into the campus. And so unless students are displaying symptoms or exposure to COVID-19 at that time, we are requesting that all students test in person.
Ok, otro examen que tomarán los niños, esto es como una práctica del examen STAAR, se llama DLA. Como pueden ver, las fechas ya están próximas. El día 18 tenemos un día feriado que es el día de Martin Luther King, que no venimos a la escuela, no habrá clases. Y al siguiente día ya 5º grado tomará su primer examen, día 19 de enero. Este examen también se dará en persona. La razón por la cual estamos requiriendo a los niños que vengan en persona es para tener la mejor información, ¿verdad? Porque cuando ellos lo toman en casa, pues hay muchos factores que pueden impedir el rendimiento de cada estudiante, ¿verdad? Así podemos tener buenos resultados y poder ayudar al estudiante para prepararlo mejor para el examen. ¿Ok? Los estudiantes tendrán que venir en persona, como dijo Ms. Puente, al menos que ellos tengan síntomas o hayan sido expuestos a alguna persona con COVID. Entonces, esa información se les dará próximamente, cómo se va a llevar a cabo qué sistema vamos a llevar a cabo para que todos vengan a tomar su examen en persona.
Okay, of course, as we bring more students into our campus for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades for the DLA testing, we will continue to have our safety measures in place. So we will continue to have students socially distant to minimize any students moving throughout the building. So just like now, where our students do not rotate throughout the classroom, they don't go to the cafeteria for lunch, they don't move to enrichment classes, they stay in their same classroom throughout the day. We will do the same thing as we bring more students in, and we will use different classrooms as needed to make sure that we have enough space to spread everyone out. We will continue to require masks and have frequent hand washing and sanitization. So we will continue to keep everyone safe as we bring more students into the building.
Okay, durante este tiempo que los niños vendrán a la escuela a tomar el examen en persona, se tomarán las medidas necesarias para asegurarnos de que los niños estén seguros. Como pueden ver en las fotos, los escritorios y todo están a distancia. Seguiremos tomando las mismas precauciones. Y estaremos utilizando otros salones también, ¿verdad? Estamos conscientes de que serán más niños que estarán en la escuela. Y los niños tendrán que usar máscara y seguiremos los mismos reglamentos que hemos seguido hasta ahora.
All right, if you would like to look up more information about the STAAR test, you can just Google TEA STAAR, or you can navigate to this website, tea.texas.gov/student.assessment/STAAR. And remember, STAAR is with 2 A's.
Okay, si quiere más información sobre este examen, aquí está el sitio web donde puede entrar y encontrar más información.
All right, so the next thing that we wanted to talk to you about is how your students in each subject area can make approaches, meets, and masters. And so you often hear that, I'm sure that you've heard that, especially as 5th grade parents, that we have students with trying to meet each of those criteria. And so these are the raw score conversion tables that we use. And when you're looking at, for example, this first one here is reading on the left-hand side, and you can see that in the reading test, the last time that our students took STAAR was in 2019. So this was the raw score conversion chart from that year, since students didn't have an opportunity to take STAAR in 2020. And you can see that there were 38 questions on the reading STAAR test. And then you can see that in order to meet the approaches level, students would need to get 22 questions correct out of those 38 questions in order to make approaches. And then you can see that in order to get meets, students would have to get 29 questions correct. And to get masters, students would need 33 questions correct. So we share this information to you to help you understand that the differences between approaches, meets, and masters, and also to make the point that for some of our students have different goals depending on their current progress. For some of our students, their goal is to get to the approaches level. For other students, we know that they're higher achieving, we can push them to the meets level. And for some of our highest achieving students, we want to push them to masters. And so some of you will think, oh, you want your child to get to the highest level, so we push those students to masters. And we can have conversations, we can ask for you to meet with the teachers to get more information about what is a feasible goal for your child. And then looking next at math, in math there are 36 questions total. And so in order to get approaches, students would have to get 18 or more questions correct. To get to meets, students would need to get 26 or more questions correct, and masters would be 30 questions or more. And then in science, there are 36 questions total. Approaches would need 22 questions or more. Meets would need 28 or more, and masters would need 32 or more questions correct.
Ok, si se pregunta cuántas preguntas tiene que contestar un estudiante de 5º grado correcto para pasar el examen. Ok, el examen está depende del rendimiento de cada estudiante. Ok, tenemos varios niveles, ¿verdad? Tenemos el nivel que usted ve en rojo. Es y probablemente ha escuchado a su estudiante hablar de esto. Es el nivel de approaches. El que está más abajito es el de meets y el que está abajo es masters. Ok, so entonces depende de cómo su estudiante su rendimiento, es a donde los maestros, o sea, empujan a su niño, ¿verdad? Si está cerca de este nivel de approaches, ahí es donde los maestros tratan de que el niño llegue. Entonces, entre su rendimiento académico sea más alto, pues claro, las maestras tratan de que los niños hagan progreso y lleguen hasta masters. Entonces, preguntas. Entonces, en el examen de lectura hay 38 preguntas, ¿ok? Lo mínimo que tienen que contestar correctamente para llegar aquí al rojo y pasar el examen es 22 preguntas, ¿ok? Para llegar a meets es 18. And for masters, it's how much, Ms. Puente? I don't want to say this wrong. For masters in reading, how many?
33.
Ok, 33 preguntas para llegar a masters, ¿verdad? Entonces, para la materia de matemáticas, hay 36 preguntas en total. Para llegar a approaches necesitan 18 preguntas correctas. Para llegar a meets necesitan 22 preguntas. Y para llegar a masters necesita 30. Okay. Luego, el último que ve es el de ciencias. Hay un total de, how many in science, Ms. Puente? I'm sorry.
That's 36.
36. Hay 36 preguntas. Ok. Tiene que contestar 22 correctas para approaches. Meets 28 y masters 32 preguntas correctas.
Thank you. Okay. So next we're going to talk about some ways that you at home can help support the learning and what the teachers are doing at school to support student success as well. So we wanted to remind everyone that we are starting to prepare packets. The teachers have worked very hard to prepare packets for the students who are at home virtually. And so whenever we returned on Monday, that was Thank you very much for parents for coming up to pick those up. If you have not yet picked up your packet, please try to do so tomorrow between the school day 7:30 and 4 o'clock so that your students can have those packets at home to be working through as the teachers guide them and so that they have some hard copies of the work in front of them. And the next date of packet distribution will be January 15th during the school day also from 7:30 to 4. And so we'll ask you to come on that date to pick up the packet. And then again on January 29th from the same hours. So we will be doing this every 2 weeks to help support your students who are learning at home virtually.
Okay, se pueden estar preguntando cómo puedo ayudar yo como padre en casa. Bueno, los maestros han preparado unos paquetes para que ustedes puedan apoyar a su estudiante de tercero a quinto. Entonces, la primera distribución se dio a cabo el día 4 de enero. La siguiente fue el día 5 de enero y la próxima será el 15 de enero durante horas de escuela. Y después vamos a tener otra el 29 de enero. Okay, que es un paquete donde es un paquete de práctica que va a cubrir lo que los maestros ya han enseñado y que sirve como práctica para prepararlos para el examen.
Okay, some other supports. Thank you again for those parents who have had their students join the academic boot camps. We will have another session during spring break, which will be March 15th through the 17th. And then soon we will be starting Saturday tutorials and also weekly tutorials. So the days of the week and times and all of that are going to vary depending on the dates that the teachers will be instructing. But just letting you know, those are coming around the corner at the beginning of February.
Ok, otros apoyos que se les han dado a los estudiantes ha sido el Academic Bootcamp que se dio a cabo el próximo, bueno, ya lo tuvimos uno en noviembre, uno en diciembre y ahora tenemos uno en marzo próximamente. También se va a ofrecer tutorías los sábados, empezando el día 6 de febrero. Y también van a empezar las tutorías durante la semana y esas empezarán el 8 de febrero.
All right, these are some other ways that you can help make sure that your child is prepared for the assessments. So something that's extremely important is that your child comes to school on time every day, whether they're in person or learning at home, that they're ready to go by 7:30 and staying throughout the school day. Have conversations with the student about the test, have realistic expectations. So that's when we talk about some students' goal is to get to approaches, some is meets, and some is masters. Encourage your child to practice and do their work in a well-lit, quiet area. So making sure that they have a space to work that's distraction-free, that students are well-rested, eat a good breakfast, arrive on time. Look at the test results, especially as we have the DLA coming up. We want to be sure that you are finding out how your child does on that test to make sure your child can continue to improve. We take this test in January, and then we have all the way until May to refine the skills so that students can do better in May. Ask your child about test-taking anxiety, help them calm themselves, and request a conference. At this time, even though we're not able to have parents inside the building, teachers are still available for phone conferences and virtual conferences.
Ok, ¿cómo más puedo ayudar a mi estudiante a prepararse para este examen? Una de ellas es asegurarse que su estudiante venga todos los días a la escuela y se quede a través del día, que llegue temprano a las 7:30. Tener conversaciones sobre el examen, tener expectativas realísticas con él o ella, animarlo, motivarlo, ¿verdad? Sobre este examen, animar a su estudiante para que practique y que también le dé le prueba un ambiente donde haya suficiente luz, esté calladito, donde no haya distracciones y se pueda concentrar. También asegurar que su niño descanse, coma un buen desayuno y llegue temprano. Examinar resultados que se les otorguen de la escuela. Cuando usted vea que hay resultados que las maestras mandan, exámenes que mandan, grados, que tengan conversaciones con ellos de cómo pueden mejorar y, ¿verdad? Hablar de cómo usted le puede apoyar para que pueda mejorar. También hablar con su hijo o hija sobre la ansiedad, ¿verdad? Muchos niños les provoca ansiedad antes o el día del examen. Hablar con su estudiante sobre esas ansiedades, ¿verdad? Y ¿verdad? Con esas conversaciones, pues, traer un poco de calma para que pueda hacer lo mejor posible en su examen. Y claro, siempre puede contactar a su maestra para una conferencia, aunque ahorita no se está permitiendo la entrada a los padres a la escuela. Los maestros están disponibles para tener estas conferencias, ya sea por teléfono o virtual.
Okay, we wanted to remind parents as well that the teachers are now giving students the opportunity to earn credit for using the digital resources. And so students are expected to complete 150 minutes or more on either MyOn or Learning A to Z for reading. And so that's about 30 minutes a day, Monday through Friday. For Imagine Language and Literacy, they have the same requirement, which is about 30 minutes per day or 150 minutes a week of usage. And then finally, for Imagine Math, students should pass 1 lesson per day or 5 lessons throughout the week in order to earn a 100 for digital resources.
Ok, ahora los estudiantes se les está dando grados por participación en los recursos digitales de MyOn, Imagine Literacy y Imagine Math. Como pueden ver en MyOn, para que los maestros les den un 100, ellos tienen que estar activos en MyOn 30 minutos diarios o 150 minutos por semana. En Imagine Language Literacy o Imagine Español, igual, son 30 minutos diarios o 150 minutos por semana. Imagine Math se requiere pasar una lección por día o, claro, 5 a la semana para ser otorgado un grado de 100.
All right, and then in order to receive full participation credit for synchronous lessons or the lessons that students have in teams, to get a 100, students need to have their camera on for all lessons. Students need to be respectful and able to respond whenever the teacher calls on them for answers. Students need to be prepared with their materials, dressed appropriately, and have their devices charged. And students need to be punctual or be on time for all of their lessons. And so we are assigning grades for participation for these items because we know that if students participate well and meet all of the criteria, then they will do well throughout the school year. They will perform well on STAAR as well.
Okay, también se les va a estar dando un grado de participación. Y como podemos ver, se requiere de que el estudiante prenda su cámara, que sea respetuoso, contribuya, eso es responder y participar durante la clase, estar preparado y listo para sus lecciones y claro, ser puntual. Okay, I think I'm done. I thought I missed something, but I think I said it all.
And then just another reminder about the importance of attendance. So we want to make sure that you understand that your child can suffer academically if they miss a lot of school. Regardless of whether the absences are excused or unexcused, the absences do affect students. Attendance matters at all grade levels as early as kindergarten. And attendance is an important skill that will help your child graduate and do well beyond graduation, whether it's college or starting in the workplace. It's definitely a good habit. So we recommend some of the tips on the right-hand side, that you set a bedtime and a morning routine, that students go to bed at a decent time. We recommend 8 o'clock each night. And you can set homework and bedtime routines. Try not to schedule any appointments or anything during the school day where they will miss their instruction. Don't let your child stay home or be disengaged from the class unless they really are sick. And stay on top of your child's social contacts. Set an example for your child. And if you need any help with any of these things or any tips or support, just reach out to the school. We're here to help you.
Ok, Ms. Puente acaba de hablar de la importancia sobre la asistencia. Es súper importante que los niños asistan a clases todos los días y estén activos. Esto asegura de que pues están aprendiendo y están aprovechando el tiempo. Y van a mostrar progreso no nada más en sus clases diarias, sino también en el examen de STAAR. A la mano derecha podemos ver algunas sugerencias que puede usted hacer para mejorar la asistencia de los niños y cómo apoyarlos. Una de ellas es irse a dormir temprano. Sí recomendamos que si tienen citas médicas, las hagan después de horas de escuela o lo más tarde posible para que así ellos no se pierdan de su día académico. No deje que su niño o niña se quede en casa, al menos que esté enfermo. Si están virtualmente, pues que se conecten, ¿verdad? Al menos que estén sumamente, pues, enfermos y no puedan participar. Y como siempre, aquí estamos para ayudarles con cualquier cosa.
All right. We also wanted to let you know that TEA, Texas Education Agency, is allowing schools to cancel remote learning for students who are not being successful at home virtually. So if we have students with failing grades or excessive absences, we may be having conferences with parents and requesting that students start coming in person daily throughout the rest of the school year. So if we have those concerns, we will be reaching out and contacting you, but we wanted everyone to be aware of that.
Okay. Un cambio muy importante que se está haciendo, se ha hecho recientemente para aquellos que están con el aprendizaje virtual, que se están conectando de casa. Hay un cambio muy importante. Esto es para los estudiantes que o están reprobando alguna materia o tienen ausencias, demasiadas ausencias. Se les va a pedir que vengan a la escuela en persona. Ya luego se les notificará quiénes son esos estudiantes. Nada más queríamos que supieran y que estuvieran, ¿verdad? Conscientes de este cambio nuevo que hubo.
Okay. Those who were here last year, you may be familiar with this sheet. After students take the DLA test in January, so in early February, we will be sending out this report to all students in 3rd through 5th grade so that you can kind of get a glimpse of how your child has been doing. And this will have the reports of the student's progress, the absences, how the student is doing on the DLA, the snapshots, all the different assessments that we've had throughout the school year. And so we just wanted to show this to you now, but this will come out to you at the beginning of February.
Okay. Este reporte saldrá a principios de febrero, después de que ellos tomen su próximo examen, que es el DLA. Este reporte aquí le da un resumen de todos los exámenes que su niño o niña ha tomado. Si ha habido progreso, si no ha habido progreso. Muy importante, espere este reporte. También aquí les van a notificar cuántas ausencias tienen. Entonces, eso a principios de febrero.
All right. And now I would like to give the teachers an opportunity, if they would like, to speak more specifically about what students can do at home for each of their content areas. So I know we have Miss Austin on the call. Miss Austin, would you like to chime in about math specifically?
Hey, yeah, absolutely. So first of all, thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate y'all listening to this information with your extra time. It is super, super important, everything that we're talking about. So for sure with math, my strongest suggestion is TTM. It's a really, really specific program for your child. It has them take like a benchmark at the beginning, and then it levels them accordingly. So it's really specified to where they're at in their math progress. It's a great program. Second of all, I honestly would have them practice, here it's listed, but just their multiplication facts. It's a really big deal in 5th grade, and unfortunately a lot of our kids don't really have them memorized, which is really common in 5th grade, but it's very beneficial for them to know them for a variety of reasons in 5th grade math. So even just doing a basic fact practice every day with multiplication would be super helpful. The packet that, Miss Almaguer, do you need a minute? I don't know if I'm going too fast.
Ms. Almaguer.
I'm sorry, I muted.
No.
Okay. So, okay. La señorita Austin, maestra de matemáticas, está recomendando uno de los recursos digitales que ella recomienda altamente es TTM. Los estudiantes ellos ya conocen este programa muy bien. Y también que practiquen sus multiplicaciones. Ella dice que es súper importante por muchas razones, ¿verdad? Porque luego esto se aplica a muchas cosas en matemáticas, ¿verdad? Y el saber estas multiplicaciones le facilitará otros trabajos en matemáticas.
And then secondly, the winter break packet that I think almost everybody did end up getting before the winter break, that is full of resources based on everything that we've covered so far in 5th grade math. And then if you picked up the second one, I added more units that we've covered and will cover since the winter break. So that's full of resources your kids are familiar with to help them with TTM or with their practice or whatever they're looking at.
Ok. Ella mandó un paquete durante el tiempo de descanso que tuvimos. Y todo lo que se incluyó en ese paquete es práctica, son cosas que ellos ya han visto, que la maestra ya ha enseñado, o sea, no es nada nuevo, es práctica, muy buena práctica para ellos. Y también recientemente mandó otro donde luego agregó lo restante, ¿verdad? Entonces, si no ha recogido su paquete, bueno, es recomendado que se comunique con la maestra porque es un buen repaso.
Yes, and that is really all. If there's like specific questions about how your child is doing in math, I'm always available to discuss with you in a conference or something, so please feel free to reach out if you want more specific advice for your child's progress. Thank you.
Ok, si tiene alguna pregunta en específico sobre su estudiante, sobre su progreso, la señorita Austin está disponible en sus horas de conferencia. No dude en contactarla.
All right, thank you so much, Miss Austin. Okay, now moving on to reading. Miss Neff, would you like to provide any recommendations?
Yes. So in the STAAR, the students will be given 6 passages, about 6 passages. So the most important thing is to get them reading, to get that stamina up, because they didn't take one last year. And in 3rd grade, they don't have 6 passages. I believe it's 4 they read in 3rd grade. So this is a big jump of how many passages. So getting them reading each night will get their stamina up, so they'll be able to read and answer the questions for 6 passages. And to just, so that can be on Imagine Language, and Mayan would be the best choices for that. And those are participation grades, so they are doing it. That is the best option for them, as well as taking some of the assessments I put on the hub. I give practice STAAR sample questions so they can see and be familiar with those questions.
Ok, la señorita Neff, maestra de lectura, recomienda que los niños, una de las cosas más importantes es que, o diferencias del año pasado, es que ahora van a tener más, más lecturas que leer. Entonces, para que los estudiantes pues estén impuestos a leer por periodos largos, porque luego el día del examen se les hace demasiado largo el examen, ¿verdad? Porque no están impuestos a leer, ¿verdad? So recomienda que todas las noches lean, entre más tiempo mejor, ¿ok? Esto va a incrementar el tiempo que ellos pueden durar leyendo, ¿verdad? Que se vayan imponiendo. Ella recomendó para la lectura, recomienda Mayan Imagine Learning. Ella también en el hub pone ejemplos de preguntas de exámenes como parecidos a los del STAAR, donde los estudiantes pueden practicar.
All right, thank you so much, Miss Neff. And we also have Miss Engelhardt from Science. Miss Engelhardt, would you like to give some recommendations for science support?
Yes, and first of all, thank you so much, Ms. Puente and Ms. Almaguer for translating, and then for our parents for taking your time today to help your child become successful. So as Ms. Puente mentioned earlier, the attendance is the most important thing. We know if your child is attending school and participating in the hub activities and the teams activities, they will be successful. So in that, hub activities and teams activities, we are looking at them participating, and we are using that rubric. So they need to participate in both teams on a daily basis and in completion of the hub activities. If they could have their cameras on, that helps me ensure that they are learning, because they can show their work. I can check them. I can check them individually. Also on our kinesthetic movements, I can see if they are doing them. And this is such a proven statistic that when they are moving, that the body remembers quicker than the brain. So I really, really want to encourage everyone to participate, have your cameras on. And then the packets, the January the 4th packet, please pick that up. I have all 3 weeks in there, Monday through Friday, and it starts back in October. So there's actually 4 weeks in there. So the January 4th, all the way to January 15th, and then the January 29th, all of mine are in that packet. And you'll do one a day. It's just simply review. And at the end, there is one question. It can be a multiple choice. It can be a sentence stem. And it's some type of activity to ensure that your child is reviewing the material that we've already covered. So they're preparing for STAAR and for the DLA. And then the other thing is the winter packet. As Ms. Puente mentioned earlier about going to the TEA website, In my winter packet, you have the 2018 and the 2017 STAAR test, the release tests, and these are practice tests. And we've been doing these tests as do nows or exit tickets in class. And so your students have seen many of the questions, and we have gone over them and reviewed them, but it's very important that they complete the winter packet, the STAAR release test of the material that we have covered. I X'd out anything that we had not yet covered, and then this packet. And then the only other thing is the Brain Pop. Brain Pop also, they're welcome to go on Brain Pop. They have their username and password. It's HISD Rucker. The password is HISD. They can watch any video regarding any of the content that they've learned. So electricity, states of matter, energy, and just plug it in, search it, and the Brain Pop video will come up and they can watch it and it'll help them review for the test. And there's actually Brain Pop quizzes if they would like to take it. So that's it. And we just thank you so much for making sure your child is attending on time and participating in both the hub and the teams. Thank you.
Ok, Ms. Engelhardt acaba de expresar la importancia de la asistencia, ok. Ella dice que la asistencia es sumamente importante, ¿verdad? Pues si no asisten, pues cómo vamos a aprender, ¿verdad? Entonces su participación, no nada más conectarse, pero participar en Teams y también en las actividades del Hub. Y para saber que ellos sí están, ¿verdad? Activos, están poniendo atención, ella les está recomendando, bueno, a todos, ¿verdad? De que se les está dando un grado por esto también, de que prendan sus cámaras. Ella dice que si ellos prenden sus cámaras es una manera de ella poder monitorear que el estudiante sí está aprendiendo, que sí está participando, ¿verdad? Ella dice que está comprobado, ¿verdad? De que cuando hay movimiento, ¿verdad? Cuando ellos están moviendo, ella hace muchas actividades, ¿verdad? Y está comprobado que el movimiento ayuda al cerebro, lo alerta y así los niños aprenden, ¿ok? Ella mandó un paquete recientemente, igual que las otras maestras, de un repaso, ¿ok? Esto los prepara no solamente para el STAAR, sino también para el DLA, que es la práctica que se dará próximamente ahora en enero. Ella mandó también un paquete durante el descanso ahora de diciembre, que son los exámenes que tomaron los niños de quinto grado en años pasados, en el 2017 y 2018. Entonces, ella dice que por favor completen esos paquetes. Eso les va a ayudar mucho, ¿verdad? Porque son exámenes que tomaron los niños de los años pasados de ciencias. Así que pueden tener una buena idea. También ella los está utilizando en clase, ¿ok? Como boleto de salida o práctica al empezar la lección. Ella está usando esas preguntas también. O sea que las maestras se están preparando a nuestros estudiantes. Así que necesitamos de su apoyo, ¿ok? Para que, ¿verdad? Podamos tener éxito.
All right, so thank you, Ms. Engelhardt, and I want to say thank you again to all three teachers. Parents, I consider our students extremely fortunate in 5th grade to have three very strong, effective teachers who care so much about your students, wanting them to be very successful, wanting them to be happy and enjoy 5th grade and do well in the future. So thank you so much, teachers.
Okay, Ms. Puente le acaba de dar las gracias a las maestras. Tienen muy buenas maestras, es un muy buen equipo, maestras que, ¿verdad? De veras les importan sus niños, que tienen actividades para que ellos aprendan y se diviertan al mismo tiempo. Les quería dar las gracias, así que son muy afortunados.
All right, and the very last slide that I have, something that we've done before is have our parents write letters for the students to read on the day of the test. And so this year is a little bit different. We're limiting paper coming into the school and things are a little bit different. But we do invite you to maybe write a letter to your students that they can open even at home before they come into the building on the day of the test, and just let your child know that you believe in them and that you know they're going to be successful. We know as educators, and many of you know as parents, that as we encourage our students and they know that we believe in them, they will be successful. But it's very important for them to know that we know that they can do well and we believe in them.
Ok, otra cosa que vamos a hacer para los estudiantes, bueno, que ustedes los padres van a hacer por ellos, es escribirles una carta a su estudiante. Esto, pues claro, ellos no lo pueden leer todavía, ellos lo van a abrir el día del examen, ¿verdad? Unas palabras de ánimo, ¿verdad? Para motivarlos a que ese día, pues, den lo mejor de sí, ¿verdad? Y entonces próximamente les estarán dando instrucciones de cómo entregarán estas cartas.
All right. Thank you again, Ms. Almaguer, for the translation. And this will conclude our parent meeting. We will stay to answer any questions that you may have. Please be reminded that if you have specific questions about your child's progress or how your child is doing in class, we invite you to have a private conference with the teachers, and the teachers have expressed that they're available to do that with you, so you can contact them. I know that they're available on Class Dojo. I know that they will respond to emails as well, or you can just call the front office tomorrow or next week, and we can give them a message to return your call. So if it's something in particular about your child's progress, please make a private appointment to discuss that with the teachers. But if you have general questions about STAAR or DLA, we are here to answer those questions. And I just want to say thank you again so much, parents, for being available for this meeting, for making time to ensure that your students are successful this year. It's very important and we really appreciate it.
Ok, nos vamos a quedar a contestar preguntas en general que usted pueda tener. Si tiene preguntas específicas sobre su estudiante, le recomendamos que haga una cita con la maestra, una cita privada donde usted pueda hablar de su estudiante. Miss Puente le quiere dar las gracias. Bueno, todos les queremos dar las gracias por estar aquí el día de hoy. Es sumamente importante, ¿verdad?, de que ustedes estén informados de cómo pueden apoyar en casa, ¿verdad? Así, juntos como equipo, pues aseguramos el éxito de nuestros estudiantes. Mil gracias.